Obviously, getting ready for a very, very good football team in Utah. We know how good they are. They're sitting here with, I think, 6-2, and coming off of a Thursday night game. So they have definitely a pretty good time in between the last game against Washington State and now. And then coming off a big win against their last home game against SC. So great battle ahead of us. Excited about it that we get a chance to play another top team. I think we've, going from, playing number 8 team in the country, number 9 team in the country, now number 12 team in the country. It's a pretty great challenge for our players, and certainly excited about that.
You have expressed admiration for their program in the past. What stands out to you the most?
Consistency. I believe that Coach Whittingham has been there 19 years. As a head coach, prior to that, as a coordinator, took over a program that was, I believe, 11-0 the year that Coach Meyer left. That had a number 1 overall pick in Alex Smith, and was able to keep it going. You look at how he's recruited to exactly what he wants his program to look like. There's a definite, you could say, standard in the way they recruit defensively, what their expectation is. He's had the same defensive coordinator for 7 years. Andy Ludwig has come and gone and then come back. So there's a very good offensively. They know exactly what they want to be. They're going to be an under center team, and gun, of course, but more under center than most college football programs are right now. They're going to have great play action game. They understand the importance of being able to move the football and score points, but they've also kept the standard of playing great defense. And then additionally, they've won a lot of games. So you look at who they are, how they do it. They sell out their stadium. They have an incredible home field advantage when you go up to Salt Lake. Well, we want to be that. I don't know why we can't be. I believe we can be. But it starts with the community. It starts with the fans rallying behind. It starts with our players making plays. It starts with our coaches coaching at the highest standard, recruiting at the highest standard, and then all together the group of us find a way to get it done.
Rashawn Speedy Luke, what's the status?
He should be good to go. Yep.
Were there conversations with him about, hey, what do you want to do? Like, would you like to redshirt? Would you like to play? Does that come into play at all with someone who's not going to play 80 snaps?
Oh, with conversations with Speedy Luke? No. No. He's got 4 games that he can play, that he's allowed to play before you have to redshirt, and I don't know. There was zero conversation regarding that he wants to play. So, we'll see. We'll see how the game goes. Him being available and him playing are 2 different things. We'll have to see what that looks like, but he is available in full go.
When he did play for you guys, what did he show you?
2 things. One, pure speed, which we certainly, there's no doubt on that. But number 2 is he's got a really good feel as a runner on how to see holes, how to make cuts. He's not just, let's say, one of those guys that takes the perimeter and runs and bounces runs. He can run downhill. He can catch the ball. And he has very, very good vision. And he's a one-cut runner.
Speaking of one-cut runners, DJ Williams seems to get better and better as we go along here. Is there any thought to kind of making him the designated goal line back to maybe improve in those situations?
Not really. I think Mike Wiley leads the team with touchdowns. When you look at run and pass, Mike, had no problem getting in the end zone. When we ran the option play, Jonah's gotten into the end zone. DJ can get into the end zone. I think really what it came down to is I don't think anybody was getting in the end zone on the way we blocked that one play that you're referring to, I'm sure, specifically. And, sometimes that happens. We wind up, we didn't block it well. And we wound up going from a 2nd and 1 to a 3rd and 6. And or 3rd and 8, I think it was. So you can't have that. And then Mike had a 3-yard run on the 1st and 10 down to the 2nd and 6, and then we threw 2 incompletions. But other than that, no, I think DJ will certainly play his role, and will continue to get more opportunities throughout this season, next season. And with that, I'm sure there'll be more opportunities inside the 5.
From a program and team building standpoint, what is the thought process behind starting to integrate all of those true freshmen on defense?
Really, what it comes down to is we're playing our best players, guys that are practicing the best, guys that are playing the best at that moment in time, guys that are giving us the best opportunity to win the game. In addition, it's enabling us to continue to watch the build and be able to see how good people can get. We're still looking forward to, a full recruiting class of 2023. You still have to see exactly who's coming in those spots to be able to immediately impact you and be able to see what the competition is going to look like. But for us, it's all about winning this game against Utah, and we're going to play the best 22 players that we believe we have on this roster.
Utah is 11th nationally in time of possession. Would you say maybe they're closest to North Dakota State in terms of their methodical nature? And how would that affect your game plan as far as your pace and all that?
Yeah, I would say that's exactly who they're closest to, is the way they balance their run and pass, the way they huddle or at least use most of the play clock like North Dakota State does. For us, we're gonna find a way the best we can to move the football. We're gonna do everything we possibly can to score as often as we can against a very good defense. We're gonna have to find a way to take the ball away offense by our defense against their offense to be able to limit their time of possession. We don't want them to be in a 31, 32 minute game where we have it for 27 and a half minutes or whatever it might be. So we're going to try to figure out a way to get more points with every possession we have and really not get too wrapped up in what they're doing.
Seems like no matter who leaves their team to go to the NFL, they have very good defense, always near the top of the rankings. What is it that you think makes them so sound on that side of the ball?
Consistency, knowing, as I was saying earlier, the defensive coordinator has been there 7 years. Most of their defensive staff either played there or has been there for a significant amount of time. Their head coach was the defensive coordinator, so I'm sure he has an enormous hand in how they're recruiting defensively. I think we'd have to go back 20 years to really look back and say, okay, in year 1 and 2 or 18 years, what did you guys do to make sure that you started building that defense the way you wanted it to? And I'm sure the answer was, Whittingham was the defensive coordinator, Urban was the head coach. Whittingham built the defense the way he wanted it as the defensive coordinator. They got to a point they were top 5 in the country. And then Urban moved on, Kyle moved up. And then he kept the defense going. There hasn't been a lot of drop-offs. Now, I'm sure you guys can find 1 or 2 that I can't remember, but for the most part, I feel like Utah's defense has always been one of those that they're tough, they're physical. The body types are pretty similar. What they bring in defensive line wise, they bring in the 600, the 6'3", 6'4", 305-pound guys interior. They bring in the edge rushers. Their linebackers I've always thought have been very good. That hasn't changed. I mean, their safeties. Eric Weddle was a great safety from Utah, years ago that I remember hosting at a draft dinner in Baltimore in 2006, and then having him at the Rams for the Super Bowl 12 years later. And there's just a mentality and a mindset there that Coach Kafusi could probably speak on for sure. But we know that that's the type of defense we want to build here.
Weather could be a factor with some rain, cool temperatures. How do you think that will impact it?
Yeah, I told our guys, don't even, if it rains, it rains. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We can't control that at all. So our goal is going to be strictly to play the competition, not the weather, and do everything we possibly can to move the football, prevent them from moving the ball and winning.
In that same vein, you mentioned how they have one of the best home field crowds, environments in their conference. Do you feel like your team is ready to handle something like that? Night game, loud, weather, all of those factors.
They better be, or it's not going to be a fun Saturday night. So we've got to have that, and we have to be ready for that. And it's another great opportunity to figure out exactly where we are on the spectrum of the build of this program. We certainly saw, you could go to Washington on homecoming and go head-to-head and make it a 42-39 game with a couple minutes left. You could play the number 9 team in the country here for homecoming and, be down a score, be down 2 points with 14 minutes left, be down a score with a minute left, and have a fourth down that they gotta convert, and you can stop them and go 60 yards to tie the game. So this is one more step for our guys to find a way to see how good we can become.
Jedd, you mentioned you're going for the lead grinder, 9, 10, all these big teams. How's your team responded to practice, morale, energy, and adjustment-wise to going through this stretch of games?
Seems great to me. We certainly didn't flinch last week. It was 17-13 at halftime. It was 17-16 to start the third quarter. It went back and forth, 31-29 with 14 minutes left, and they scored twice, and we scored to make it 45-37, converted on a 2-point play. It seemed like no stress at all in terms of getting them ready to play. Felt the same way against Washington. It's 42-39, and no issue at all trying to get them ready to play. I think our guys are excited about it. It's, what you got to do is you got to find a way to turn the table, and, the score will take care of itself if you keep playing hard and keep practicing hard and know what you're supposed to do and what you need to get accomplished. But this is part of it. I know we talked about a long time ago, which felt like a long time ago, but it was only a year ago, that you go from losing big to losing small to winning big, and we've got to kind of be right in that middle. We're right in those two areas, beating North Dakota State by a point or two, by 3, whatever it was, by beating San Diego State in a game that was pretty close all the way until the end, losing some close games here. We're right now at the brink that we need to keep getting better and keep playing complementary football.
If he's able to play, what's your scouting report on Cameron Rising?
I would expect Cameron Rising will play. And my scouting report is I remember meeting with him in 2017 at UCLA, talking about him coming to play for us at UCLA. He was from Newbury Park High School, which is just about 45 minutes north of Westwood. It's right by where the Rams practice. I've always thought of him as a very good quarterback, athletic quarterback. Is certainly able to make plays with his feet, throw on the run. Did a great job coming in against San Diego State a year ago. Really, that's when he showed back up. And, obviously he was at Texas, transferred to Utah. But when he went in the second half of that San Diego State game and absolutely started lighting it up, I think Cam is big, tall, very NFL prototype in terms of his ability to run and his ability to throw and his ability to lead. And then if you look at what he did against, really, Florida, drove all the way down in the swamp opening day. I know the game didn't end the way they wanted it to, the last throw, but he got him there to the 5. And then this past game against SC, driving all the way down, using his legs, making great decisions, and then getting a win on a 2-point play. He's going to be quite a handful, as feels like a lot of the Pac-12 quarterbacks are right now.
Your quarterback has been a handful.
Yeah.
Threw a lot of downfield passes this last game. I think it was 13 attempts of 20-plus yards. Was that a game plan thing or just being aggressive? What would you attribute that to?
The coverage that was given to us. There's times that you could throw underneath because of the coverage, let's call it the umbrella-like coverage that's being given to you, that it's easier to just, I don't want to use the word dink and dunk, that's kind of not our system, but to find the more intermediate routes. There's other times that they want to sit on intermediate routes and, your option is to go over the top or not. We're not afraid to go over the top. I know we had a couple opportunities to hit we hit a 70-yarder, but we had a couple of other opportunities to hit about another 100 more yards there. And then, we're going to throw the go ball, and we're going to take our chances there with our receivers. And I think that he throws it really well downfield. And it's allowed us to become a pretty explosive offense. I know that I think we're first in explosive plays from the scrimmage. So we'll keep doing that.
Have you noticed any changes in coverage tendencies at all as Singer has emerged, as Tanner has emerged, as T-Mac has lived up to his hype?
Yeah, I would say just a big mix of coverages, that teams aren't necessarily playing you in one or two coverages. They're gonna make it challenging, and they're gonna pressure you. Then they're gonna play man. Then they're gonna play 2 deep zone. Then they're gonna play 3 deep zone. Then they're gonna play quarters. Then they're gonna play zero, and they're gonna kind of spin the dial a little bit on you with the different body types that we have out there and the different successes that those guys have had of making plays and challenging them. But this week, I think we're going to have our hands full with this defense. They play very, very physical man-to-man coverage. I think Clark Phillips is a fantastic corner. Looking forward to seeing him. I think he's really, really good. So we got a big challenge ahead of us there, and we're hopefully going to be ready for it.